Welcome to this presentation of Mount of Revelation. The purpose of this posting is to show how nature is professing God as the Creator. All quotations from the King James Version. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. If you are not familiar with the Mount of Revelation, the lead-in, then I want to encourage you to look at it first. It will give you a good perspective and reason why nature always testifies of God. There certainly are treasures hidden in the sand. This fact is also stated there in Deuteronomy 33 verse 19, which reads as follows: They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of treasures hidden in the sand. A very clear statement also comes from Jesus Christ himself in Luke 19 verse 40, where he says, And he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. Rocks are reduced to sand. The following comes from an article from Select Sand Corporation. Silica sand is quartz that over time, through the work of water and wind, has been broken down into tiny granules. Silica is the second most abundant element on Earth, according to mass. In the same article I found the following. The most common constituent of sand in inland, continental settings and non-tropical coastal settings is silica. In other words, silicon dioxide or SiO2, usually in the form of quartz, which, because of its chemical inertness and considerable hardness, is the most common mineral resistant to weathering. Pure silica Si is the 14th element, which is a multiple of 7, God's perfect number, on the periodic table. It has a boiling point of 1414 degrees Celsius, which is also a multiple of 7. It has 4 electrons in a stable covalent bond in its outermost orbit or shell. It can serve as an isolator and insulator material and is very strong. It can be used in many applications like cement, ceramic products, glass, alloys, time mechanisms in watches, etc. The important application regarding this presentation is in the field of electronics. Original quartz is reduced into a disc of pure silicon. Then it is doped with arsenic or boron to form N or P type material. Eventually it is laid down in layers on a substrate of silicon by means of a complex process to form an integrated circuit. A rock becomes an audio amplifier. In the final instance, the silicon microchip is then sealed into a plastic container, after which it can be used in hundreds of different electronic apparatus like an audio amplifier. The rocks are actually talking. You are now listening to a presentation by means of an apparatus consisting essentially of components made up from silicon. Hi there. Jesus always means what he says because he knew what he was talking about. Let me just repeat Luke 19 verse 40. And he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. Today, the rocks are shouting out the glory and the majesty of God to the world. This presentation and every other broadcast by inspired preachers are all part of this process. What is next? Maths are not man-made. Maths was discovered by man and tells the story of an almighty creating God. Thanks for watching. God bless.